Welcome to the Going North podcast, where you will be encouraged, informed, and empowered to embrace your dreams and advance in life through authorship. I'm your host, best-selling author, certified leadership trainer, and book enthusiast Dom Brightman. Be sure to check out the goods and services from every guest, as well as some of the books from yours truly, the host. Now let the fun begin. And today on the Going North podcast, where we bring you some fabulous humans from across the globe. Today's no different. Echo, my kin, today is a different day because we got a special author from the land of charm, crime, and crabs, known as Baltimore, Maryland, for a Charm City bonus episode, baby. That's right, because today we got a lady who knows the do in a good way when it comes to leadership, my friends. She's a founder and CEO as well as an international corporate trainer of OF Enterprises, baby. That's right. And this wonderful lady's experience was brought from her expertise and passion that was uniquely developed from her experience, education, and character. And it all comes from 21 years worth of working at a Fortune 500 company. So let's give it up for my fellow person with the JMT DNA, Ms. D.O. herself, or I should say Ms. DMO herself, Ms. Dawn Offei. How you doing today, Dawn?
Oh, I am doing terrific, Dom. Thank you so much for inviting me here. I can't wait to share what great things are happening here at OF or Offei Enterprises. Yeah, great stuff. Can't wait to share with you.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I bet it's all sorts of great. Probably got all the R's, doesn't it?
Yes, a lot of R's. Great.
They're so great. I hear you got your first book into the business of immortality.
Yeah, just as of last week, I made a promise to myself. I said, boy, I wonder if I can get this done and be done and give this to my as a birthday present to myself. And of course, last week was my birthday, and the week before it came out. So I'm so grateful to know that the P.U.R.S.U.E principle is in writing and can be used as a tool to promote effective change. And the book is all about even in turbulent times, even in a pandemic, even in crisis and racial disparity, effective change can still happen for an individual, and it still can happen for an organization. And this book is like a blueprint on how that change can occur. And it shares my own story about my own P.U.R.S.U.E principle, how each one of the letters in P.U.R.S.U.E represents something, and that's what the book is all about. A workbook is also coming down the pike to work along with the book. So I'm excited to see, and I've actually walked this P.U.R.S.U.E principle without it being ever called something. And now I'm able to present this to the world in training, in individuals, and speaking engagements. I can't wait to share what this P.U.R.S.U.E principle, this tool has been doing in my life, because change is occurring even during these hard times.
That's right. And that's not just quarters either. And I love what you said there, how you were living out that random acronym and you actually were able to finally put it into an acronym. So how did that come to be? Was it like in Starbucks or something? How did it come to be?
You know what? Almost just like that. I use the word P.U.R.S.U.E in some of my training. I've been doing training and development within that Fortune 500 company for the last 10 years. And then for the next 5 years after that, I've been doing training and development. And when I did leadership training and supervisory skills training, the titles were always about pursuing effective supervisory skills, pursuing and embracing your leadership, pursuing excellent customer service. And all of a sudden, before I knew it, I said, well, this P.U.R.S.U.E word is like my little mantra word. And then I started breaking down what that P.U.R.S.U.E meant. And that's how it came to be. I had an opportunity a few months ago in June to present to the National African American Human Resources Group in Baltimore chapter. Woo, woo, woo. And I was able to share about even in turbulent times, how change can occur. And on a high level, I broke down this P.U.R.S.U.E principle. And that was kind of like the birthing place of it. And then I gave it more legs and I gave it a body. And then all of a sudden there's blood vessels running. And then all of a sudden it became a pursuit principle where this is like, wow, this is a living thing. This is something that has been birthed from me to share with the world, that change can happen. Change can occur even during a crisis, even when governors shut down all the evening activities, even when churches are finding new ways to do things because they have to. Those changes can occur, and we see it happening in organizations. We see it happening in individuals. This is not the time frame for us to sit down and say, okay, all right, we're buckled in. We can't go out. We can't go to restaurants. We can't hang out. There's things you can do. And putting the pursuit principle, I'll call it even a challenge. Do the pursuit principle and find the very things that you were supposed to do all along, working with that tool, which is a pursuit principle book. In turbulent times, effective change can still happen. And it's happening with me. And I give examples in the workbook about how it's happened with others. And it's going to be an excellent way and a through way. We always want we want the what? We want the change, and we want the why. We know why we want the change, but sometimes we don't know the how. The pursuit principle is the how it can get done. So I'm excited about it. Can't wait to share it with the world of what's happening there.
Ah, sweet. That's what I'm talking about. So
Yeah.
since it's an acronym, what's your favorite letter out of the acronym?
I'm so glad you asked me. The word pursue is P.U.R.S. S is my favorite. And S stands and says seek knowledge. And when it says seek knowledge, I mean, P.U.R.E. is saying, what is your problem? What's your plan? What you're working on? Utilizing your tools and what makes you unique, and use what you have right now. Use what you have right now. You don't have to wait. And I talk about that in the book. I got my degrees, I got my certificates, and I still felt like I needed to get more things before I got my business off the ground. And finally, somebody had to sit me down and say, you know what, you don't have to do anymore. And so I said, no, I need to do this. And I said, and then this woman had to sit down and ask me questions, and I start answering them. And that's after I kept on answering, then I start to sheepishly smile like, oh, okay, I know where you're going now. I don't need anything else. I have it. I have the experience. I have the education. I have the desire. What is stopped? The only person that's stopping me is me. So back to your question, which is, why is S so important? Is seeking knowledge. Once you have your plan together, once you find out how uniquely you can utilize your plan, once you discover whatever you want to do, whatever that idea is, whatever that problem is, whatever that issue is in your organization, seeking knowledge sometimes gives you that validation. It gives you that confirmation from someone who's always already doing it. So in my story, as I'm writing down my plan for my business, I need to seek out people who are already doing what I'm doing and doing it well and have the experience. So out of nowhere, I met people from LinkedIn. I met people on the Black Speakers Network. I met some great folks who are already training. And you know what? They're at a place where they can't wait to share what they've gone through and what tips I can use so that I can make my life just a little bit easier as I'm working the business. So, and then also the challenges, they hold me accountable to the things. So when I say about seeking knowledge, it's now like, okay, I have this idea, here it is. What are your thoughts? And then receiving everything they say, good, bad, and ugly, even if they go back to the drawing board, because you trust them, because again, you're reaching out to them because they've already walked this path. I can count at least a dozen people in my life who I sought knowledge over, and they made me a better person just because of the willingness to invest in me. And that's why seeking knowledge was one of my favorites, the S. There's other S's in there too, but that seeking knowledge piece was my very, very favorite, because then I know that I didn't do this by myself. I didn't do it because I just had a dream and I just wanted to go out and do it. There were people that helped open the path for me.
Ah, that's what I'm talking about, indeed.
Yeah. And then also, let me add in the challenges is that once you arrived, once you got there, then you go back and make sure you're now that expert for that other person who's coming down the path, saying they're looking for knowledge, pay it forward, do it. We lack so much that, I got mine and then you can go and get yours. That's not how effective businesses work. I want success for other people just as much as I want success for myself. Yeah, good stuff. So that's my favorite.
And it's a good one too. And I love the fact that you mentioned how that lady actually sat you down and told you hey, you got to get out there and take action. Like you can't
Yeah.
keep getting all these darn certifications, all these darn degrees. I mean, it's all great to have on your wall, but
Yeah.
after a while, it's like, come on, you got to have something to show for it too.
Mm-hmm. Right. And then I kept on saying, I was like, I need to go back to school. And she's like, excuse me, don't you already have your master's degree? I said, yes. And she goes, in what? I said, oh, in organizational management, specializing in leadership. So your master's degree is in leadership. And I said, didn't you just come back from John Maxwell and get certified? And I'm like, yes. And she goes, and you still think you need more before you can teach other people to be successful in your business? And I'm like, yes. And she's like, do you know how crazy that sounds?
It's true.
It's true. It's true. So again, Essence is my favorite, but it's exciting. It's exciting to see what's going to happen with this. I mean, this is the birth of a baby, but who knows what's going to happen with that?
There you go. Nothing but good things to happen. And speaking of
Great stuff.
birthing a baby, backtracking a bit, did little Dawn at the age of 13 see herself where she is today?
Absolutely not. That is actually the story of my leadership journey, which is another part of the book that's coming. And the book is called From Behind the Keys to In Front of Thousands. I'm a musician, and I've always been a musician ever since I was a very young girl. And a lot of people see me in that eye. But the whole book is about that journey of trying to get people out of just seeing Dawn in that box of a musician to a part of Dawn in front of people, to help them change, to help them grow, to help them develop, to help their professional development, help their personal development. It's kind of hard to see when you've seen Dawn for years behind the keyboard, teaching, behind the keyboard, instructing. And so that keyboard became a crutch. That keyboard became a security. Doesn't mean I'm not playing anymore. I certainly am, but I'm so much more than just that person. So at 13 years old, I probably thought I was going to be a musician, and I was going to be quite satisfied with that.
Sweet.
But look what happened there, huh? I still play very often every week at our church, and I enjoy playing at recording studios with other musicians and things like that. But that's always that's all good stuff. But there's so much more to Dawn than that, and that's that leadership journey that I'll be talking about.
That's what I'm talking about.
And one of those next books that are coming up in the next couple of months. I need time. I can't write fast enough.
Hey, you should probably speak your book into existence. Like, hey, just record your talks, write them down. That's what I did for my books.
Yeah. And before you know it, it's already put together. You just need to put it together afterwards. Absolutely. I'm all for that.
There you go.
Yeah. And I already know the premise of the book. It talks about my journey into that leadership, my journey into this role of moving forward, of what is in me and how I can share with other people what great things. I was like, I was not that person to be in front of people, nor did I prefer to be in front of people. I was a person that I would back you up, Dominic. Whatever you needed, I got it. You go ahead, do you, and I got your back type of person. I was not that person to be put in front of anyone. That was very uncomfortable for me. And it probably still is, but you know what? I have to walk that walk because that's what I've been called to do.
There you go. So what do you believe is the major backing of that confidence as you're taking those baby steps forward?
What's helping me the most now is, of course, one, maturity and age. And then also just realizing that there is some value that I'm able to share with others that they can add to themselves. I'm not desiring to be a speaker or a trainer because I feel like I have something to say. I feel like I'm a speaker and trainer because there's something that I can add to the value of someone else. as they are growing. And I think there's not too many trainers or not too many speakers out there that do that. I don't desire any whole lot of fame and fortune. That's not what my goal is. My goal is to make sure that we have all the things that you have and you need to be successful. And if I have a small part in helping you get there, then my job is complete. You know, my satisfaction is I'm satisfied with that. And training other people or training other trainers and training other leaders or beginning leaders, training about brand and marketing, and training especially about leadership and leadership styles and leadership levels. We all have a different style. That doesn't mean that the style is wrong. It just means that the style is different, and it's okay. It's okay. You know, there's a reason why we have leaders that are more autocratic than participatory, because guess what? When the rubber meets the road, we need an autocratic leader to say, okay, this is what we're going to do. I need y'all to move it and get it done now. We may not like how it's done, but guess what? The job gets done. And when you look at businesses and you look at organizations and that type of life, there's a need for all styles of leadership. Is it that now we have to realize that we have to be effective in all of them. You may have a main style. I have a main style, which is participatory. You know, I'm the type of person who doesn't like to make a quick decision. So I like to map it out, you know, cross all my T's, dot all my I's, and try to figure out whether or not that's the best thing for us. And then find out, what do you think about this? And bring my team together. And you know, we become great team players in that. But, you know, if I have to make a decision real quick, that is not my forte. It doesn't mean I can't do it. It's just that I prefer to have some time to go ahead and talk about it, so that once I make the decision, it is the best decision for my team, it's the best decision for the customer, and it's the best decision for the organization.
There we go. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. Multi-talented right there. She's got a whole scroll of tools, baby. She's got a whole toolbox, baby.
A toolbox. And you know what? And quite honestly, there's probably still more layers to this that I even know. And so I'm at a place of discovery, saying, okay, all right, authoring was not part of my list. I thought training and development was going to be on my list, and I was going to be okay with that too. But yet and still doors are opening, saying, okay, authoring is part of that life. And that was as of less than 4 months ago. So, and then now I have more books to write. So I'm anxious to see what life is going to show and how I can be used in a way that I can help others get to where they want to go, help organizations get to where they want to go, help their employees get to where they want to go. You know, one thing I do is I do champion, you know, yes, a great customer service experience, but I also champion employees and leaders relationship, because I really do believe if the leaders and the employees have a great relationship, then the employees and the customers will have a great relationship. You can't have one without the other. If it's bad, then you know where it's going. And it's in our leadership, it's in our employees, it's in our desires, and that mindset needs to change. And I really do feel called to say, okay, you know, what is it that we can do as together? How can we journey together and make sure that, you know, you as employees get what you need so you can be successful? Sometimes even as a supervisor or even as a leader, sometimes we just need to plant a seed sometimes in an employee's mind, because otherwise they're going to think, I'm going to work, you know, they work their 9 to 5 and they go home. To get up the next morning, they go their 9 to 5 and go home. Never have they thought about doing something else other than what they're doing, because their mindset has not been open or made aware of those things. And as far as relationship is concerned, the working relationship is so key when it comes to organizations. And that's some place where I can definitely influence for employees and for leaders, because I am a relational type person. I don't have any agenda. I'm not there to point fingers, but I am there to tell the truth, but tell the truth in a way that can be accepted so change can really occur in the organization and also concur in that employee or that leader. So, ooh, good stuff. It's good stuff. I'm trying to tell you, Offei Enterprises, we are on the move.
That's right. On the move, indeed. On the move, indeed.
Yeah.
On the move, pursuing some great stuff, indeed.
Pursuing some great stuff. That's right. Yeah.
Beautiful.
So that's even my mantra for the end of my business. I said, let's pursue excellence together. Meaning I'm not going to throw you out there and say, go ahead and pursue it. I'm going to walk with you for a pace. I'm going to walk with you so that you can have and hold people accountable in such a way, like I used to call myself the super nanny of organizations. You know how the super nanny was on TV, and she would just come in and just bust up the parents and the kids and stuff like that. But then she got to the place where they were able to receive what she's trying to share with them, as far as discipline, as far as growth, as far as development, to the place where they were much happier once she's done, and then she leaves. So that's something that I called myself one period of time. I was like, I'm the super nanny of organizations. Bring me in. Let them see who I am. Let them see that I really do have a desire to help. I really have a desire to champion their own development, champion a great customer service experience, so that leaders will know how to care for their customers. And what customers? Not the ones who just buy the products and services, but their customers, the employees, the customers, the suppliers, the customers, the stakeholders, the shareholders, everybody who's involved. Everyone is a customer of that organization. So if we are showing how to care and communicate well with our customers are everybody. So let's do a better job so they can be loyal for life. Loyal. That loyalty, I'm trying to tell you, if you think about it, Dom, I said, do you have a place, or do you even have a company or organization that you're completely loyal to?
Right now, yeah, for the most part, I'd say
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, there's certain hotels. I won't go to certain hotels. I will go always to this kind of a hotel, which is, I love the Marriotts. I don't know why. I do know why, because they provide me great service. And when I needed something that had to be out of the ordinary, they were able to provide it for me. I have never gone to a Marriott yet that did not provide me great service. And because of that, I have a loyalty to them. So when we travel, guess what I'm looking for? I'm looking for a Marriott. I'm not saying that Hilton's not good. I'm not saying that, Westin is not good, what have you, but there's a loyalty there because they've served me well. And because of that, we can turn that back around to our organizations. If we serve your employees well, if you coach them well, coach them effectively, then you can make sure that they stay, and they will stay because of loyalty. There won't be any issues with attrition and churn, which is another one of my mantras. I have a big mantra with attrition and churn. If there is a great training and development program in your organization, you won't have any problem with employees leaving. They won't leave. Yeah. But after you go through training and what have you, like they'll come out of my room and they've been with me for the last 3 or 4 weeks, and everything is all great. And we stick them out on the floor, and if they don't come back to me every couple of weeks, you can see slowly the attrition will start leaving. As they get in companies, we can't afford. Look, my companies, we cannot afford to keep on buying, hiring, paying for the background screening and the training, and just to have them turn around 3, 6, 9, 12 months later and do it all over again. We are losing money. So one of my mantras is like, look, organizations, let me help you save some money. You have that much extra money to go ahead and keep on hiring, then bring it to me. So we can bring it to me so I can help them save some money. We need to save some money here because, again, churn is a real downer. It's a real bad thing to organizations. We spend too many hundreds of thousands of dollars in that hiring process. And if you do the math, we can't afford to do this any longer and still keep our heads above water.
Yeah, you can say that again. Yeah, because
Yeah.
it's so darn true. Like the time alone is expensive. And then, of course,
Yeah.
the cost involved with the time, it's like, wow, double whammy.
Yeah. I mean, you really can't deny it. One of my pitches that I shared is that, organizations, we're suffering for 2 reasons. One is that the employees, once they're trained, they're bored and unchallenged. And the other problem is that leadership needs to grow. Leadership needs to mature. Because there's poor leadership, then people want to leave. And if they want to leave, one could be leadership, the other one could be attention So what we can do is add a training program that keeps them engaged, keeps your employees engaged, keep them looking forward to doing something that's going to help them with their development, even if you did it on a regular basis. And sometimes you can do it within your own scheme of your organization and bring people in. But boy, when you bring somebody outside into your organization, then your employees really do know that you're serious. You're serious about their development. You're serious about their growth. They may have career goals that they never even thought they could have. But because of the opportunities that are brought to them through training and development, that they see that. And then guess what? They will stay. They will stay because of what you invested in them.
There you go. That Kip swag right there. Keep investing in people right there. That's right.
Keep investing in them. Yeah. People value, right?
Oh, yeah. That's right, because people are already
Yeah.
valuable as is. So, is there a question that you wish you'd be asked
Yeah.
more often when you're ever in conversations with companies and other folks about leadership from your experience?
A question I would like to be asked. What's your schedule look like, Dawn? I need to book you. That's
There you go. Play the leadership game and all that good stuff, right?
yeah. Or when they asked me, they said they'll share maybe true life stories. I had trainers underneath me, and I had trainers where I sent away because they already learned all the things that I shared with them. They took it to heart. I held them accountable. They appreciated the discipline, and I said, "Look, now it's time for you to go." And people left, and they're still contacting me saying, "Thank you for letting me go." I said, "Well, look what you're doing. You did all the work. All I had to do was coach you here and there." So those are the types of things that give me great, not just success, but it makes me proud to know that people, I have something to share. And that's that 13-year-old that you brought up before, is that 13-year-old didn't think that things would be like this, you know, at this age right now.
There you go.
So
26, as they say, right?
yeah, 26 a couple times over, yeah.
Okay, 26.5. I got you.
That's it. And then look, we can have fun in training and development. It doesn't always have to be so much work, but because of the relationship I get to establish with the people I train, they can see some genuineness in it. They can see some honesty. They can see that sacrifice, and they can see that transparency. And then they can see that journey. And because they know that somebody like myself, who was not, look, I was not destined. Well, I don't feel destined. I didn't feel destined to get to where I am right now. But look what all has occurred, where, the stars are aligned, the prayers have been answered, the doors are being opened. So why not walk in such a way that you'll be able to go ahead and effectively change and help people effectively change for all the things they ever desired.
That's what I'm talking about, indeed. That's what I'm talking about, indeed. So, any advice for the trainers out there that are now doing nothing but virtual trainings, even though folks are somewhat moving to the face-to-face thing, despite COVID still not getting the memo?
Yeah, you know what the thing about it is that virtual training is different, but it doesn't have to be different for the trainer. You still have to communicate in such a way that the people get to know who you are, even in a setting like this. So if it's a joke or two, or, I mean, if you're a jokester, then be the jokester. Don't be something that you're not, and don't think that there's something that you have to portray because you're now in a virtual world. Portray exactly who you are and convince people. It's like, that's why I still like that, although we're virtual, I can still look at you in your eye, although, we may be not looking really in each other's eye, but yeah. But people need to know exactly where I'm coming from and what things I can bring to the table. So that's when you get to share, like, what your training journey was, what my leadership journey was, what's my education, 21 years at that Fortune 500 company. And now the last 5 years with my own business and doing other training and development and supervisory skills. There's not a place where I've been everywhere. So when someone mentions, what about Dawn working in a fast food restaurant. I was like, well, I've been there. Yeah. Fast food, nursing home, everything, every job I've had was customer service facing. So that's my area of expertise. You know, in the hospitals, the people who are talking to the patients as they're coming in, because again, customer service facing organizations is my mantra. So I realized right away that outside of professional development, the organizations I'm looking for, if you have customers and you have employees who are talking to your customers, then I'm that person that can help you get your organization to where you want it to go. Because again, of the honesty, because of the transparency, because of the truthfulness of things. You know, oftentimes you don't see that often anymore. You see people making upset, fussed, you know, and then losing that value of honesty and transparency. So you know, I love journeying with people. You know, their journey is part of my journey, and that's how I can help them get through the desires that they've always wanted to go. So that goes back to the pursue principle. What do you want? What's your problem? You know, what's the problem? What's your idea? What is the thing that you want to do? And for my example, back to the book, as far as the pursue principle is concerned, I wanted to relaunch my business. So my issue is that my problem was I believe I didn't have enough time to do the things I needed to do for the business. I had a 9 to 5 as a supervisor and a trainer, and I have all these evening activities, part of the community services and church services. There was just too much going on. But then here comes COVID-19. And all of a sudden, all our evening events were canceled. So much for praying for, Lord, I need time. Well, I got plenty of time now. Now, the thing about it is, what are you going to do with the time that you have while you have it? Because it's not going to stay like this forever. And then once you were able to say, okay, it's time for me to go ahead and relaunch my business, the Offei Enterprises 2.0 version, revamp that website, make sure the emails are straight, look at the material that you wrote in 2014 and see when they need to be updated, and just prepare yourself. Each and every day I said, I'm going to do something with Offei Enterprises to make sure I get it done, so that once it comes time to get ready to launch, I can launch it. But then I kept on running into other issues like, okay, I need to go where other speakers are at. I need to go where the organization's like, well, what are they doing? They're going someplace. So I went to a couple of networking events, and that's how I ran into Black Speakers Network. That's how I ran into Speak Black Woman with Quinn Conyers or Tiffany Bethia. So all those people had a role in where I was going in my business, and they were all written down in my pseudo kind of book of a pursuit principle. So again, before it ever became to being, I was already working in that same scenario, accomplishing the things. And I was walking outside of my comfort zone all the time, meeting people, greeting people. What is it that you do? And then I had a problem trying to figure out, what is that I do? I do so much. And I had to narrow it down to what is it that I want people to share, what I want people to know about Dawn Offei and Offei Enterprises. I said, I'm a training and development for leadership and customer service. I'm like, okay, great. And then I really could not say anything afterwards. So then if I reached out to folks like Quinn Conyers, who quinned me, we posed that term because she was able to give some legs to exactly what I do in such a way that it was clear and concise. So then when I say I champion an excellent customer service experience, organizations hire me to train their leaders on how to care and communicate for their customers so they'll be loyal for life. That's clear.
There you go.
That's clear stuff. And that's good stuff. I mean, granted, you do need to get around the people who have walked this already. And if they have expertise in an area that you don't have expertise in, these are the things. And people, there are people and there are systems already in place. And there's strategies that we can make. There's systems out there. You know how we talk about Calendly? I'm like, oh, Calendly is a really cool thing. Well, I didn't know even before finishing up this book for the P.U.R.S.U.E principle that you can self-publish. There's
Mm-hmm.
Fiverr out there, there's Canvas out there, Amazon. I mean, you have all of these systems that are out there that once upon a time, you had to send everything to an editor. They had to comb through it all, make sure all the writing was correct, and then make sure that everything was all APA standard, all those things. It's like, and now you have all these systems in place. And that's another part of that S that I was talking about in P.U.R.S.U.E principle, is like, what systems need to be in place for you to be effective for the problem that you have uncovered in P in the word pursue. So what do you need to put in place? And I talk about different examples even in that book about different systems that were in place that weren't there 5 years ago, that was clearly not there 10 years ago or 20 years ago. Things have changed a lot.
There you go.
Yeah,
That's right.
yeah, great stuff.
That's
So
right. They've added all the states to the back of the quarters with that one. That's what I'm talking about.
yeah. I mean, so all these things are occurring, and then we hear things on the news, which is just wonderful because it's almost like the P.U.R.S.U.E principle is working with other organizations. You remember the story that you heard on the news about the distillery that went almost out of business, and they realized, when they were making their alcohol, that drinking alcohol, it was only just a few points off of hand sanitizer, and now their business is booming. The employees that they had laid off brought them all back because there's a need. There was a supply demand out there for hand sanitizer. Now this company is booming. Stuff like that is what that P.U.R.S.U.E principle, this tool, is all about. Let's uncover what those things are, and let's uncover the need. Let's uncover the problem. There's a story in the workbook that I'm writing right now where a father wanted to spend more time with his children. That's the problem. But the problem was is that, of course, his job is 9 to 5. He needed rest. But then as he went through the whole entire principle, he realized, well, the true reason why he wasn't spending time with his children. And because now it became a realization, he became self-aware to the place where he was able to now change that around to spend more time with his kids once this principle was done. Because again, this book's not meant to be read, it's meant to be done.
Mm.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to people saying, oh, Dawn, I can't wait to read your book, because I'm really going to reply to them the exact same thing. It's not meant to be read. It's meant to be done.
There you go. That's right.
Yeah.
This is the one time folks you like a well done steak. That's right. You got to do this book, y'all. You got to do this book.
You got to do the book. You got to do the book. And this workbook that goes along with this book is on its way now, and in the midst of writing it now, and making sure that when you see the history and you see the dates and you see how you're writing it down, and then when you get to the place where it's done and you did exactly what you wanted to do, it could be even as like, I want to do a presentation in front of my executives at my business. At the end of P.U.R.S.U.E, which is the E, it's like, okay, how did it go? Evaluate it. How did you feel when you did it? Was it effective? What was the responses? Was it really efficient? Was it excellent? And if it was not excellent, it's still okay. But now you know what you need to do the next time you do it. So, but the evaluation is very key, because you have to evaluate yourself. And then also, if you can't trust yourself, like sometimes I can't trust myself because I'm too critical. So I might have to go to another person and say, I need you to tell me what went well, what didn't go well, so that I can get that feedback so I can make the changes that's needed. So good stuff. I even made a poster about the P.U.R.S.U.E principle, and just gives a little highlight of each one of those letters. Those posters are available to anyone. If they go on my website, it says free gifts. Go to my website, www.offenterprises.com. And you can click on free gift, and that poster is there. You can download it, print it up, stick it on your board, stick it in your office, stick it at your home, in your organization, whatever changes that need to occur in regards to being effective. Effective meaning that you're not going to keep on going back and not saying, I'm not going to change. I'm done. When you do this change, it's like until the pain of change is greater than the pain of being the same, you won't change. You're done. You're finished. You want to do this change. This P.U.R.S.U.E principle is the how.
That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about indeed. So, coming down to the magical question that every guest gets to receive, and that is if you're
Uh-oh.
to wake up tomorrow and you're 25 again, but this time in 2020, with all of your knowledge, experience, and there is no pandemic, what advice would you give to yourself?
Keep pursuing and moving forward. It's now time to seize the day, because sometimes, again, not until there's a pandemic where you have to realize, oh, well, I better go ahead and make sure I get my life together. Well, decide before the pandemic to get your life together. Make sure every day is a day that you move forward purposefully. If it's for your business, then so be it. If it's for your family, so be it. If it's for your organization, so be it. Move purposefully in such a way that you have no regrets each and every day, would be my advice if there's not a pandemic. Again, and then let's not use your excuses. Like I shared, I kept on saying my excuse was I didn't have the time, right? But if you think about it, it's like, sure, I had time. A little less TV, a little less this, a little less, playing around. Do everything on purpose. If you have to discipline yourself in such a way that you can have to schedule your free time, get all the things done that you need to get done, so then you can be free at the end. So please, seize the day, take every moment on purpose. Spend that time with your family too is another thing I would share, because before you know it, they're up and grown and out of the house. So, and then again, pursue excellence in everything that you do is my line that I say at the end of training, along with you. I'm your master curator, your fabulous facilitator, and your trainer of trainers. I say that too. Let's pursue excellence in everything that we do. Excellence is not something that is achieved, because excellence changes all the time. And it's something else I mentioned in the book. What was excellent in 1990 when that first iPhone came out is not excellent anymore in 2020. That big phone that you had to carry with a suitcase and stuff like that. That was excellent then, but it's not excellent now. So excellent is something to always strive for. It's always something to be pursued, but not achieved, because excellence is always changing.
There you go.
Yeah.
Amen to that. That's right. She needs that robe now, folks. That's right. She preaching, y'all. That's right. And she can play her own organ too. That's what I'm talking about.
Come on. Yeah, that's why they keep on inviting me back, because they can't wait for me to tell another story. I was like, I tell stories, but they're always true stories of what always is occurring, so that they can relate to where I'm at, so they can receive what I have to share. So I'm excited to see what all of this is going to come about. I pray that my business is up on the ground, and it will do. Um, uh, with speaking engagements, so it can sustain itself, because again, I have a desire to share, not just this desire to share so I can be on my own, but just to share it so that I can assist organizations in getting to the excellence that they always wanted to get to.
Sweet. Well, there we go. So for folks who want to take that step forward, what's the best way for folks to
Yeah.
reach out to the do herself, Miss Dawn Offei?
You can reach me through my website. There's a contact area on my website. Again, www.ofenterprises.com. Go to the contacts and shoot me a note, and we can set up a time to discuss training opportunities if that's what you want. The coaching, I have all my training in four main areas. One's under leadership, one's under professional development, one's under train the trainer, and the other one's on coaching, on one-on-one coaching. So if that's the desire of the organization or the person, I'll be glad to go ahead and have a 30-minute to 1 hour conversation of what you need and what desires you're looking for as far as your organization or yourself for your own personal development. The other way you can reach me is calling my business number, which is 717-347-5292. I'm also on Facebook under Dawn Offei, and also under OF Enterprises. So you can reach out to me that way as well. I'm on Instagram as well, and LinkedIn. So please reach out, message me, DM me. I'll be glad to serve you in the capacity of training and development.
Woohoo! That's what I'm talking about, folks.
Woohoo!
Head over to that ofenterprises.com. Shout out to Dawn on the LinkedIn. Stay linked in
Stay
with us. That way,
LinkedIn. Yeah,
that's right. So you can keep pursuing excellence with Dawn. That's what I'm talking
that's it. You got it.
about.
You got the terminology. Let's pursue excellence together.
There you go. That's right. She's got the Chinese finger trap for you, buddy. That's right.
We're gonna have some fun and learn some things too. That's right.
Yeah, and not left. So, any parting words before we close up shop metaphorically?
Now, well, let me thank you once again, Don, for inviting me to your podcast. This is my very first podcast. Woohoo! And you have been chosen to be that first one. So thank you so much for opening your doors to me. Thank you very much for the opportunity to share about my business, Offei Enterprises. And thank you for letting me promote my book and what I'm doing. Again, all of this is just new. All of this is just moving forward. It's all progressive. It's all what it's supposed to be. And I just can't wait to share more with the world about the training and development. I am just so grateful for those folks who have opened doors with me to me in regards to networking. You, of course, Don being one of them, and the other one's Brian Olds, which is the founder of Black Speakers Network, Quinn Conyers, Tiffany Bethia, Hannah Third Bianca Gant, who is the president of the National African American Human Resources Group, and the CEO of Career Image Solutions. There's just so many people I can share and say the reason why I got to this place right here is because of people who are able to share with me what things I needed to do to get to the place where I need to go. And that's what I desire to do for other people. So let's pursue excellence together. Whatever that thing is for you that makes you uniquely you, let's just do it together. Let's pursue excellence together. Let's do some things.
How's it going, my friend? I'm glad you made it to the end. That shows that you really enjoyed what you heard and you are an uncommon finisher. Thanks for giving this show a listen. If you really want to help out the show, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share this with someone that you care about or someone that needs to hear this message because we want to spread this podcast around like butter on bread if that's your type of thing. And if it's not your type of thing, still spread it around anyway because good stuff needs to be shared with good people like yourself.